And then we see nothing. That's always a good start. Now we go here. Oh, now we hear something. And give it a bit of time, and you should be able to see something as well. Yes! Ha ha ha! Because I've decided to re-engage with this one. It's secondary campaign, to be precise, as we have started and then just kinda never played it again, and I do want to strike once again a bit of a balance between the East and the West, because, you know, for all my bitching and moaning about Western game releases in practices, there were some golden games, I cannot lie, in the past, and I'm not going to completely ignore them, let's say. For obvious reasons, there are some good ones. Like this one, and of course, you know, its predecessor, its direct predecessor, Baldur's Gate. That too is one, I cannot lie. At some point, I guess I did promise that I would play some Baldur's Gate 3. So, I guess that's also on the menu. Pretty much, yeah. Although the only game that you will forever hear, see, and be heralded as the definition of German game making will of course be the Gothic series. Specifically 1 and 2. I've talked about them previously, we played them previously. I don't know if you were around at that time, Strategy, because that is really old shit I did in the past. There's literally no better series to show that yes, there is indeed lots and lots of talent in Germany if you're looking in the right places. Piranha Bytes were indeed good. And of course that is a open world RPG game, and by the second game they had managed to find the ideal size of an open world. Just big enough that there's always something to explore, but small enough that it is actually rewarding to explore every corner, because at that size they had enough time and energy and people to actually fill every corner that you could explore with something interesting. It is amazing. It's an amazingly well done game. And we'll play it again. I mean, the controls are archaic as fuck, as you would expect from a game of that age, but Gothic 2 with Night of the Raven is the, at least in my opinion, the gold standard of what an open world should be size-wise and reward-wise. It's never a boring experience to go off the beaten path. There's always something. There are dangers. Some of them, of course, you know, inappropriate for a small little one guy without any armor. It has problems. Engine-wise, it is a very old engine that really is meant to be played on modern systems. There's a remake for the Switch. They changed a lot of the archaic things, control-wise and inventory management-wise and all of that. I was never really bothered by the original setup, to be quite clear with you. Sure, the one-row inventory system is not ideal by modern standards, it gets the job done. The controls, the game was basically meant to be playable completely just with keyboard, and this is as such set up in a very strange way. You have to get used to it, but if you actually do get through that, you get an amazing game. I highly recommend you for this one game in particular, and this one game only, to set it up. Go for English text if you have to, but leave the German voice acting in, because that voice acting, and there's a lot of it, because basically every fucking character is voice acted, it's just that fucking great. I cannot recommend this little gem enough, honestly. And oh, we might play it again at some point. Mostly because the remastered Switch version will come to the PC, and I'm really not looking forward to it, because it's... You take a game that is quite literally made for PC, not for consoles at all. You port it to a console, and you take that console port and you take it back to PC. It's meant a lot of problems and changes I will not like making things easier, like, oh no, look, you now have a little fucking wheel to change your spells. It's like, I don't want one. I was quite happy with what I had. I had basically now my 1, 2, 0 keys to use my abilities and shit, and that was enough. The combat system does take a lot of getting used to, though. It's an enjoyable game nonetheless, honestly. Even if it takes a bit more getting used to than modern games. God damn it. Getting it to work, however, on a modern system can be somewhat daunting, I will admit, and a bit of a graphics overhaul is indeed a not bad idea. Although, to be fair, you will of course have, because originally they had actually a band that does mostly medieval music, a German band, mind you, doing a bit of a little appearance in the game, and for every version that is more modern, apart from the original CD, I kind of cut that out because, you know, licensing is kind of hard and annoying and pricey. Actually, I think in the original point where the band was supposed to be playing, we just went over to YouTube and watched the concert in Gothic and went like, well, fuck it, here goes any chance this video ever had to be monetized potentially, because, of course, but, well worth it, well worth it. But that's the good thing, because, you know, here I can ramble as freely as I want and just sit on this particular screen and not do anything. Because all of that is going to disappear before it appears on YouTube. So on YouTube, you know, you're just going to get the start of, okay, let me explain what we're doing. One of the advantages of doing some slight editing. It's like, whoosh, gone is the rambling. But yeah, what are we doing today? We're going to start playing Neverwinter Nights. It's secondary module after the original story, and we're gonna do something that is a bit unique, of course, otherwise it would be boring, as in we're gonna continue playing a little player Jen's storyline, who, you know, started her journey in Neverwinter Nights and explored the city of Neverwinter, had some fun with the plague and all of that nonsense, and well, somewhere along the way she did most definitively, well, lose her faith. An understandable reaction, after all. It has served her well, it had gotten her far, but it is kinda hard to stay being a good believer, if you consider all the shit she has to see and had to go through. And as such, while she might at some point have been most a guiding light of a paladin in her behavior, for this particular one, she's not any longer. She has indeed fallen from grace, abandoned all friends and families that she might have, you know, had and created back home in Neverwinter, and set out on a new journey towards the far colder north. Get away from all the shit. Which means that it is indeed gonna be a bit more of an evil playthrough compared to the very good and honest one we did. We should all stay on the lawful side of things, you know, keeping your promises is important, but we now have a lot more doors open to get ourselves the riches of the world. Of course, in the act of abandoning everything she had ever loved, lived and stout for, she has also abandoned all of her equipment and other things. But that shall not deter us in following her new adventure. She has managed to snug herself rather cozily into a nice little training facility for upcoming adventurers, spending her days bemoaning the state of the world and trying to be a little bit amateur, while she clearly is not. Oh well. I'm looking forward to this. I had this once set up and started, but it, well, it kind of fell under the wheels of time, I suppose, and just fell through. Of course, that also means a new career path is open to us, as soon as we manage to level up, that is. Namely, the path of the Blackguard, which we will follow. If I remember right, this module also has a max level of 20, so we can only get really started a bit on it, and it does open the door to do a bit of a redemption arc during the Tides of the Underdark, which goes all the way up to level 40, which means more than enough levels to redeem ourselves in the eyes of the god we follow. Which was it Helm? Was it Lassander? Which good... don't even fucking remember which god we followed. That's a sign of how long ago it is. Is there anything else I can see? I'm pretty sure I choose a god for you. I mean, she does carry the title of Dominator. On this particular case, since, you know, the ending of TOR is the male form, it would be more like dominatrix, because the trix ending is the female form. Latin, thank you very much for that. If you ever wondered why it says what would be a male dominatrix, it would be a dominator, indeed. Yeah, things you never wanted to know, you know you. Same with aviator, because the female form would be aviatrix. So, you know, that title is not precisely, and we shall, of course, most definitively showed her dominatrix for mostly my own amusement, to be fair. And it does kind of fit. I can actually see a fallen paladin going like, well, take out the cannons, take out the whip, go like, yep, these are my tools of trade now. Yeah. Mostly we're going to play this once again in a very fun fashion, as I see fit. But of course, you know, since there will of course also be choices and other things in this game, I do am open to suggestions, you know, so long as it doesn't contract her define characteristics, I will let people make their choices as well. And you know, since democracy, as we all know, is a bit of a weak-ass system when it comes to money, I will also allow the overruling of any such decisions by money. Basically, for as little as, you know, a buck or two, you can literally force God's hand, hi, my name is God, in doing things that you want them to do. Now, because as I said, you know, I do kind of need to somewhat give people an incentive to invest money when they can, because, well, while last month was most definitively saved through strategies, indeed most generous donation, no question about it, this month one again is going to run me into the red, and I'd rather like to minimize that as much as I can. Might sound a bit petty, to be fair, but oh well, so is it.
Hilltop, one of many small villages that dot the most remote regions of the northern wildlands, known as the Silver Marches. Few would choose so cold and inhospitable a land to make their home. Only those seeking a new life, or to escape their past. It is in Hilltop that your mentor, Master Drogan, chose to settle after a lifetime of adventure. Here, he would pass on his knowledge to you, and a select few others with promise. It is here that evil comes in the shadows, and behind it, a sinister purpose that will see your own promise either realized in full or extinguished forever.
There indeed, we are back in action again. Well, I would say naked as the day we were born, but you know, modest still demands at least some clothing. And these are indeed the most, or part of the most unattractive underwear I've seen in my whole life, but it is what it is. As you can see, we have nothing in our inventory, but our poor lady wasn't fucking stupid enough to abandon, well, her, you know, little axe. Who carries everywhere rings, because, you know, kinda need to remember why the fuck we went through all of the shit in the beginning, so that we don't, you know, off ourselves. And of course, we do have our money with us. And since money in a Neverwinter Nights game has never ever been a problem for anyone that just fucking played the game, I'm not feeling guilty about that. Now, let's see what we do have in our inventory. More gold, always good. Focus crystal, and more journal, and an instrument of the Inquisition. But it was not an option, unless of course you choose to die. Death seemed a bit of an extreme option. The route to short of rocks around you did not seem particularly bright. Doesn't mind. You brought a deep skull to your face and eyed the orc captain. He would be the first to die, followed by the orc beside him. At least that is what you told him. The rest might eventually bring you down, but how many of them were prepared to face death over such a small, insignificant object? Your intimidation tactics worked well, and the orc handed over the odd-shaped device, then disappeared as Drogan's test ended. I told you to keep the instrument, as it was a holy item of the Inquisition. The blade may be used once per day to increase your persuasion skill for a short period of time. It was a fine, worthy trophy. Yes. Well, I would assume that the orcs realized that character is probably a lot stronger than, you know, have any right to be. And decided to do the only reasonable thing, namely, fuck off. Of course, we're also gonna start, once more, collecting nonsense. And making sure that some reminders of our story remain with us. Of course, when naked and unarmed, which is not really a good state to be in, you know, a bit cold. Showing to in-game character actions for the nations. For the nation. Mention the action of the nations. To your prediction. That is indeed pretty much very good strategy. I see you are once again on top of your game. I've learned to expect nothing less from you. But yes. As I'm once again needing to remember how to actually do this. Okay, so I do want to set this up. The good thing is, if you're playing a fighter class, you actually do have the advantage that you don't have to that many things to fill your fucking short bar with. That is indeed very good. I didn't even know that was an option. I still sometimes find myself being somewhat overwhelmed with what modern technology can do for us. So I want attack nearest. And I want follow. Actually, I'm probably not gonna need heal me, but in case we ever have a caster with it, probably doesn't hurt to have this. As for options, what are they? I hope I will over time. Use automatic, cleave happens automatic, I think. Divine grace happens automatic, divine health happens automatic, divine might, however, not. How the fuck did I set this up again? You might try some more text in your string to people. Yeah, that would actually be a good idea. I did see that people do this. I just don't know how people actually... What would be common text to use for that? I wonder. Emotes, assign commands. How did I set this up again? Assign other actions. Parry mode, power attack mode, attack button. I don't need an attack button. I have an attack button. Spells. Do we even have set up spells? Attacks. Burn so much above community mode. Fair enough. So how the fuck do I set it? Can I not just drag you out of here? Because that would be cute. And with that one. No, I cannot. Okay, game. Thanks. Okay, so where's my spellbook actually? There's my spellbook. There are all the spells. Of course, we never set those up, so it's kinda stupid. Holy Avenger, special blessed weapon, renewable paladin, extra plus 5 holy weapons, huge freedom of movement, death ward, cure serious wounds. I think we're just gonna put in some healing spells for now. Because honestly, we probably not gonna need much more. That touch weapon wounds. Dispel magic, let's see. Actually, you know what? Dispel magic sounds good. And we have Aura of Glory and 8. How about Aura of Glory? Part again plus charisma bonus and plus 1 of the saving throws versus fear and healed. That sounds useful. Bless my weapon. Oh no, we're just gonna take some cure light wounds, and we don't have any cantrips because, well, we're a fucking paladin. We're using a specialized form of cleric casting after all. Now, back to figuring out how this shit works. Ah, it's been so long since I played any game like this. Charge, crafting, paladin. Lay on hands. Yes, that's always a good start, having lay on hands. Where was it? There wasn't it? No. And we have smite evil, which should smite ourselves, so we're not gonna bound it. Remove disease, we're gonna put in there. I would feel kinda cheap to, you know, be dead already. No, not dead to the world of the paladins, that is. and still be like, yes, I'm just gonna smite more evil, while you yourself are most definitively an evil creature. Summon Mount. But that's actually... That's one of those things where it's like, yes, this is indeed the sort of thing that should have been originally in Neverwinter Nights. It was removed, because it wasn't finished at all. And then it was kinda, just randomly thrown back in again in one of the later versions that came out, basically. It's still basically as... what feels at least as broken as it for forever was, and it has not changed much, but... Shall be on a journey. We might be a bit dressed for the cold, but, I mean, the lady already has very, very pointy, titties, so I guess, at least it's not gonna change much if she's, gonna suffer some cold. Hello, my random friends.
Tell me, surely you have heard how our dear Misha fared in her last test.
Oh, right, Misha, you're actually a proper paladin, aren't you? Well, I can tell you already, we're not gonna get along well.
I have had enough of your jibe, Xanos. You would have done no better.
Jesus Christ, there's a certain disbalance in the level of sound here, actually. I mean, I can't...
On the contrary, dear lady, I tend to do exactly what Master...
I mean, I do like that it is basically quite literally, you know, made to sound in a way that, you know, it reflects kind of how your camera is set up and shit. That's neato, but not the most intuitive thing.
I somehow doubt Master Drogon would ask you to rescue anything that he didn't expect you to rob first.
Fair enough, you know. Also, let's see here. How am I gonna set this up? Change my dear little face is busy obstructing your text, and this is the first time I have a text window. I guess I'm gonna put myself over our dear little player trans face. I mean, you would kind of miss out. Actually, I could put myself in the lower right corner, couldn't I? There's not really much going on there. And technically, you can read the text in here, you know? It's not like you need this box up here, but... We'll just quickly do that and to give you a bit more of a view. So we take you, little window. Whee! Look at me flying. I go down here. Then I'm out of your hair, and you can enjoy the actual game. You just need to remember to set it back again, you know, for other games.
You are the aspiring thief amongst us, little Dorna, not I.
Ah. Yes, indeed, a goblin is an evil creature. And a paladin will look at it and go like, yeah, life will end, bitch. Oh, well, you know, if Goblin Slayer has anything to go off, yeah, it's probably a good idea to slay the goblins before they grow up and get all rapey. For some reason, that sounds like a very good solution, doesn't it? You're an idiot, girl. You want to graduate or not? That sounds a bit too aggressive. Now, the problem is, fundamentally speaking, I'm not really I'm not really a fan of how evil is displayed in games, you know? It's not so much about just being an asshole all the time. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. Basically. Let's see here. How can we feign some disinterest here, maybe, or something? It sounds like a goody two-shoes answer. We're gonna avoid that. That's unnecessarily provocative for no fucking reason. It's like, okay, so I'm just insulting you. Why? Indeed, that is actually a good question. Why the fuck would he? That to reach the potential became usual to achieve. You're a paladin. Surely you were tested in some of the ways. I'll have you know, I'm a former paladin. I don't think the Order will want me back anytime soon. But basically, our backstory is that we are hiding out here because we've just gotten sick and tired of all the shit. I mean, literally, imagine starting your adventures in Neverwinter Nights. Okay, so, I don't know, you're at the academy, you have all of these children, quote unquote, sitting there, now having fun, planning their prom dates, while outside the people, you know, get shoved onto pyres. Burning flesh is the most distinct smell you'll probably be seeing. Yeah, that can do something for your faith. Not in a good way. Or maybe you need it. Anything better to do? Yes, I have indeed. I was looking for some clothing before you interrupted me, so rather unfriendly. You can see I'm kinda underdressed for the weather. Gotta make you superior. No, I am indeed superior. By at least, roughly speaking, 15 levels or so. As this is indeed the character we had before. Ralph regards him. I came here to learn what I can from him, that's all. I agree. I don't care what he thinks of me. It's not of importance to me. I have indeed already went and journeyed to the lands. Well, yeah, maybe he just doesn't like bootlickers, Never thought about that. That is indeed a stupid question. For once, I actually could not agree. Of course I'm ready. Oh no, no teleporting. And you know what? I'm just gonna dig out one of my old recall stones and use those. Bastard. Oh yeah, that is the mechanic here, isn't it? You basically get that ring and the crystals, and basically it's a nice little safety mechanism, but who needs it anyway? After all, resurrection in the world of D&D is actually not that uncommon. I mean, it usually comes at a cost, but meh. I would never rely on such a stupid ring anyway. What's the need of this ring? Like a focus crystal stopper, you put it in a ring with either. I see you get along well. Indeed, I have no idea what my final test would be, and I do not care.
Wait until Master Drogon gives me my final test. Oh, I wish I was in your shoes.
You were in my shoes, lady. You would be standing around in the fucking hallway, basically naked. Not sure you want to be in my shoes. Still, you know, I probably have enough strength in my little arms to beat the ever-living shit out of every last one of you. Oh boy, is this fucking cold.
Learn how to be an adventurer. I wish to adventure.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Enjoy the world. How about you visit the next best plague-ridden city and see how that works for you?
True.
I wish
Can only advise you that that's a good experience.
Do you hear that? The sounds of battle from
Drogon is in
downstairs.
trouble.
No, I'm going to go and plunder shit now. Must be because I need to have something at least. A practice sword. Okay, that's probably not gonna help much. There's to Mistra. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna steal her religious book. Mostly because I've sworn my loyalty now to another greater god. And where did I put my practice sword? I don't think you can hide anything from me. Goes back up, everything is broken, goes like, what has happened? We're just gonna pretend back up very nicely and go like, yes, this must have been the whoever basically broke in here. The attackers, yes. They must have found a way up here and broken all your shit. They didn't break my shit, so maybe they knew that that would be a terrible mistake. Let's see. Potion of Aid, Wand of Acid, lots of things we can sell. It's of course one disadvantage of playing a more evil character in the older classical RPG. Because, quite frankly, none of these stories are kinda set up to let you be the hero. And they don't really bode doesn't really bode well if you try to be more evil. They do give you options, but they're usually kind of stupid. Like, you know, you can be insulting in dialogue and now you're considered evil. It's like, that's not how evil should be. Evil should actually be evil. Crush him! There we see one of the more annoying problems of being a mage. You need to prepare quite a bit of spells beforehand, and B, casting does take a bit of time. no! It's a poison blade! Well, guess we're not gonna get much action, yeah? Let's see now. I hope you like pain. Indeed. And I said that they didn't actually take into account that it would indeed not be, or Pullady here would indeed not be titled as a Dominator. It does not work that way, indeed. I wonder if I can change that in the game first. Probably could. But it sounds like a pain in the ass to do, so probably not. Well, I mean, you know, they probably stabbed him multiple times. I also see a lot of loot on the ground that I would like to pick up. Trying to heal him, eh? Is that gonna work for you?
Nothing. The poison resists? How can that be? This is no simple toxin these kobolds have used.
Well, in a world, you know, where magic, like cure poison, is literally at the tip of your fingertips, as long as you know a pretty damn low-level cleric actually at it, it would make sense that, you know, people who like to use poisons would probably develop poisons a bit more resilient, for obvious reasons.
How could they have acquired such a poison, I wonder?
That is actually a better question. First and foremost, who are you to be demanding answers of me, woman? Yeah. I would repay anyone that randomly shows up with very suspicious timing with suspicion. Yes, I would probably do that. Like, of course you are suspicious. Yes. Ayala Windspear. I have a distinct feeling you might be one of the knife-edged kind that I'm also fond of. Found when they're, you know, bit more dead than you. Came from the Nether Mountains, you say. All the way to our little home in the Silver Marshes. What interesting quinky dink that is, isn't it? Also, you know, you're really not good at this whole tracking thing. It's like, the tracks seem to be going in the same direction for days. Takes out map, looks like, okay, if they follow from here, longish line, oh wait, what's that? It's a settlement. Might be a good idea to go there. Warn them. But now it's like, you know, but I can do this tomorrow. I get it, you know, procrastination, all of that. Sometimes, you know, strong force. Oh yeah, why were you following them in the first place? Yeah, I already put it out, you suck at your job, so, oh good, it's a harper. We're not gonna get along well. Someone interferes with the business of others. And together to fight evil wherever it arises. You know, some might call that meddling. Because meddling is what it is. And of course, you know, having a quote-unquote secret organization that decides what is and what is not evil and decides what is worth interfering with and what not is also somewhat suspicious. I shall be a very suspicious character, I see.
I believe I can shed some light on that.
I see that you're not dead, old man. That's good. I was about to say, it would be kinda harsh to get thrown out of the home in my state of undress at the moment. Yes, she's not dead yet. A good start, I'd say.
Drogan, you live. Mistra be praised.
Turns around, makes the sign of a very, 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 very bad and evil god, goes like, you failed again.
It was the artifacts they were after.
Ah, yes, the artifacts.
4 of them. I could do nothing.
I thought as much. How could anyone have found out you even had them? This is terrible news.
An even better question is, why, if there are multiple of them, do you keep them all in one place? Makes it a lot easier to steal them, doesn't it? But yeah, what artifacts are we talking about? Yeah, I was noticed that 4 dangerous artifacts do scare. We thought this area remote enough that they would be safe. And you're idiots. That's the reason why we have, you know, giant protected and secured lockers and shit. Why we have whole buildings built up to be quite resilient and store lots and lots of valuables. Could have left at least one there, eh? Guess you'll be leaving then. Can't leave. Trouble will die unless I tend to this poison. The help I can offer is limited until it gets better. Hail the student. Yeah. I'm gonna keep up this charade of me being your student name. Okay. Just let you find decided to bring them back. I guess I do owe the old man something for, you know, allow me to, go under the radar for a while. You sure this is important? I guess I'm the only one, eh? Not any other harpers around or anything you could call up, I suppose. Okay, as long as you don't kick me out, because I kinda like staying here, you know, living a quiet life, not getting involved in the big shit. And he's unconscious. Ah, fucking great. Okay. And tell me why they are so important. No, I think I'm gonna take the aspiring thief with me, as you know, lockpicking is not my forte. And again, you know, magic is also not my forte, so both options are pretty okay from my point of view. Yeah. Let's go out to Hilton and follow the trail of the kobolds. I'm sure the kobolds are not really masters of stealth and hiding, so it should be easy enough to find their trail and do what needs to be done. How else can you help me exactly? I'm pretty sure he's still using the bloody rings. Okay. We will act as a temple. I see. Good. Do you have more crystals then? No, of course not. Why that isn't, of course, I don't know, but I'm pretty damn smug for somebody who wants my help. What's the master doing? Well. Questions. Tell me more about the artifacts. Concerns my memory. There are 4 artifacts. A mummified hand, a dragon's tooth, a tower statue, and a mask. Why are they dangerous? The power of a malevolent nature. You have my interest. Tempting enough for some. I told you not one of those. Don't worry about it. Why were the artifacts kept here then? Why not somewhere safer? Backstage would somewhere safe be. In a vault. Somewhere. Buried. I'm just now pointing it out. A thick vault, somewhere buried in the ground, maybe even with some guards, instead of random place in nowhere land where some fucking kobolds can invade every single fucking day if they want to. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't think we have any reason to ask more about your artifact, because even if you tell me, it's not like I'm, you know, too proficient in the arts of magic that I could actually do anything of said knowledge. Like, okay, it's a mummified hand, we know what to look for, that's all we ever need. Since we quite actually started without any reasonable equipment, first order of business is to get, well, literally any sort of equipment. Garlic. Garlic. Garlic is good. And first we're gonna plunder this ground floor, and once we're done with that, we shall venture out into the city. A wee bit drafty, eh? You don't say. You see my poor little lady complaining? No? Maybe you're just weak. Sense of Triangle. The engraving on the side pool explains its purpose. And shows the sense of immortality himself, the pool of righteous energy will uncover any relics lost by the use. Let's see, anything in here? Reason I was kinda doubting. And doubting I was doing rightfully so. I guess as soon as we get to the city, the first thing we're gonna do is buy ourselves some equipment. Now, kinda wanted to stop this whole adventuring nonsense, but I guess we're back in action here. Now, what is saving and quick loading? That's important. Misk. Quick save is G. That's nice and gonna be horrible to remember. Stop me. Like, do I look like a kobold to you, little creature? So, what happened? Why the fuck am I not allowed to go inside? Yes, I do know that happens. Well, yeah, he was poisoned. There's well, no good reason to lie here. We're not gonna gain anything by lying, for once. I do hate riddles. Kobolds are fun to kill. One of fairy dragons are fun to kill too. Ah, thank you. I know I'm beautiful. I don't know, it makes me feel, see me even more beautiful, you know. I'm in my element. Whatever. Tell me a riddle. Fine choice for fine woman. Here's my riddle. A woman has 5 children and half of them are sons. Is that possible? Sure. Really, these are half of the children are also males. Yeah. That is indeed quite possible. What appears? How do I get into the laboratory? Can I get away? What did they do? Dust on the circle. That was enough to fucking break the barriers. Alert disrupted struggles protective magic. Ah, of course. Magic dust. My, why haven't I figured this out? There's still some stuff. I want stuff. But how can I get stuff? Why can't I go in? I mean, surely you can trust me to go in. Wink, wink. Hey, so the creature, who the fuck are you calling a kobold? Ah, fucking hell. You're gonna make this difficult, are you? I still hate riddles. Yeah, fucking fine, ask me. You're going to be killed in the stop action of the... You must make one statement. If statement is true, you will not. If statement is false, you will be hanged. Okay? Can you make a reason you not be killed at all? You will be hanged. I am pretty smart. If I go with the first thing that goes like, yeah, that's probably it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I'm wrong? Well, sure. Okay, yeah, sure. Because 9 average is deserted. It's for fruit trees, it's written at good for where's it yet in the GR? Because they like it. Okay. Sounds like a wizard thing to do, you know. Bored of that mind, they're like, well, I'll just teleport to this random island. Get myself some fruit. Mm-hmm. 6. You know, I'm just like, okay, with battles like this, it's usually some of the middle answers. So, you know, if you give me 3 options and one is the middle answer, I'm just gonna click it and go like, yep. So, what do you get me, little fairy creature? What did I have? Some focus crystals, I guess. I mean, I have some random nonsense. Okay, is that for my room? Special quarters, should have some useful equipment. Ah, I see. So that opens up the door upstairs. Well, just before we go outside and freeze our little butts off, we shall go upstairs. Then the question is which companion we take with. I mean, considering what we are good at, which is making things pretty hard. Sometimes with some, you know, divine help along the way, but smacking things most definitively. Having the magical orc with us, you know, it's an image I did not want to have in my head, but now I imagined a magical girl orc, and it's pretty much as scary as you would imagine. So that would be a nice addition to what we have. Just to add that nice magic touch. And a whole transformation scene into our daily lives. And alternatively, you know, having a thief along with you also is, for all intents and purposes, not necessarily a bad choice. Not always the most simplest thing in the world to just bash open every single door and lock you find. Sometimes you might wanna, you know, do things a bit differently.
I simply can't carry all of this.
And by differently, I mean the rather obvious choice of, you know, not getting bogged down with things. Okay, I might be a bit encumbered. I mean, it does give her a nice little ass-shake way to walk. Probably not at the worst. Let's see here. Eyes of the Eagle. More spotting. Since they don't actually have any equipment. Alternatively, is this a long sword? That's a great sword. Can't really identify that immediately. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need a sword. And by that I mean not a great sword. So I need to reduce the weight we're carrying just a tiny little bit. But I mean, that's what we brought our little knapsacks along for, didn't we? It's a hard life starting anew. She's just like, well, you know, I'm just a bit shy. I'm not gonna take off the helmet, but everything else is fair game. It's like, okay. Maybe a bit of a challenge, you know. Maybe the sort of challenge that's like, well, I bet you I can beat everyone up with just that. What am I gonna take with me? Let's see. I guess, you know, if you give her a bit of a crossbow or something, she might be not a bad option. I guess having somebody along who's that weak could be a bit annoying, to be fair. I mean, I would like to take the paladin with us and corrupt her as well.
You're here to help Master Drogan. You'll need to get underway as soon as possible. Do you need my help?
Yeah, pair of X-Men sounds good. No, sure. Join me. Let's see, what can I... Wasn't there a way for me to... Inventory. I do need your character stats first though. What does that mean? A rogue cleric. Sounds like a horrible combination. Also, dual wield, evasion. Oh, attack shield proficiency. Why would you have shield proficiency if you also have dual wield? That's kind of like an either or thing, isn't it? Because if you use a shield, you're not gonna be dual wielding now, will you? I mean, that would work. Do you have any proficiency towards
It seems the dwarf has
yeah, I think you do, little bastard.
You have come.
Cannot take both, eh?
What do you need?
Wait a moment. Just stay here for the moment. Join me. Let's see, what did you turn out to be then? Examine, you are a sorcerer barbarian. That's an interesting combination as well, I must say. Not one I find particularly common. Okay, let's see here. Can I not just take that from you? No, I have to do this the old-fashioned way, do I? Yeah, you can keep that. A heavy crossbow. I don't think you're set up to be using heavy crossbow. You can keep that. Not really need that. Keep that. And I think
What do you want?
I still think we're gonna take the fucking dwarf with us.
I see.
It just seems like a more reasonable option to have a fucking person that can open some locks for us. What do you want? A lot of things I want. Basically. So, yeah, not much. We're playing some Neverwinter Nights. We're just setting things up on a little new adventure. Right now it's like, do I want to take these assholes with me? Don't I? How am I going to take them with me? Yeah, you know, stuff like that. Taking some stuff out of the inventory because fuck it.
Carry all of this.
Hard to resist the lure of the old games, eh? This is basically the second time we start this campaign with our old character. Who is now just mildly overpowered for this start because we're supposed to be starting at level 1. We will not. But at least we didn't take much from him. Indeed, that too happened, actually quite a while ago. Because after my long absence, only now I came back and this thing was already here. Set up nice and dandily on my PC, and I was like, you know what? Since I have it now, I'll fucking use it. Well, it is appreciated. Appreciated indeed. It's a rat.
I hope you like pain.
Oh. I don't need any weapons. At least not for a fucking rat. Ah, no problem. You don't need to. You can. It is appreciated if you want to talk, but it is also very much just appreciated if people drop by, so yeah. Indeed. This is the very same character that went through all of the trouble in Neverwinter. She kinda lost her face along the way. Understandable, you know? Very understandable, I'd say. Indeed. Nothing has changed, apart from her obvious alignment. Which is not any longer as good. You know, there's only so much shit you can see before you kinda lose your faith. That could actually be, yeah? I do think, or at least I want to believe that yes, probably the first stream I remember your name popping up was Neverwinter Nights. Quite a long while ago now that I think about it. Ah, means we've known each other for quite a long while at this point, doesn't it? What have you been up to? Recently, lately, potentially? Deep, deep. Now then, let us find a store to sell some shit and get some basic equipment, because I'm pretty sure my poor little lady here is freezing her literal nipples off in this particular weather.
Speak with you a moment.
I have better things to do than speak with you. I'm cold. Literally cold. I'm in my underwear. Sure, what is it? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes life does hit you hard. Enjoying games on my own. Well, that is good. That's pretty much the advice I would give anyone who's feeling down, trodden by life. Sit down, play some games you enjoy, watch some anime, fawn over some waifus. That gets you surprisingly easy in a better mood. Or in a horny mood, depending on what particular waifu you're looking at. D1. Which D1 is that? Is that Diablo? Ah, Neverwinter Nights. Have you considered playing Baldur's Gate? And I'm just gonna put this out there. If you're willing to play Neverwinter Nights, then, you know, go back in time and play Baldur's Gate 1. You will never have more fun exploring the world than with Baldur's Gate 1. It's the ideal low-level exploration simulator. And then when you get to Throne of Baldi expansion for the second game, at this point, you have an absolute awesome, bloody horror fantasy. Yes, it's always worth a bit of a replay, you know. I like to point that out. It's a great game. Let's see what's going on. And I feel there's a lot to do. We have things to do indeed. Indeed. Yeah, classics for a reason, as I always like to point out. And you know, if you make some gold. Of course, Steve is like, well, if you can make some money, yeah. Yes, we've talked enough. I'm still freezing myself. I would like to get something on me. Something, consistent of clothing. She just goes like, indeed. Open sesame?
All done.
Good. Especially if you experience these games in your early days, they have left probably quite the... Indeed. Personally, I always like to play games like this also with a bit of a role-playing touch to it, you know. I'm trying to stay in a given character to some degree. Not necessarily, you know, behavior-wise, but at least somewhat aligned with what you set them out to be. So of course, you know, When you play Paladin, you're not gonna, you know, be an asshole and be evil and all shit. Mostly because, well, the game also doesn't allow you to do that. It's also something that is rather enjoyable indeed. Just, you just start out with complete neutral and just see where your decisions in any given time lead you towards. Just alignment-wise. Oh. There's a lot of fun to be had, basically. Very many different ways you can play these games. Although, of course, you know, the campaign is kind of limiting, to put it mildly. You will always have a difficult time playing an evil character. I mean, look, I'm aiming towards the black card, but I get stuff like, you know, smite good. Whenever will I use that ability? The answer is probably never. Ah, me too, me too. Ye older days.
I could use a drink.
Ah, no, it's me. Yeah, now that's just... It's a sort of petty evil I don't really enjoy. You know, the evil should be a bit more than just, you know, randomly trying to mug some fucking peasants. There should be a bit of a more fine tune to it. Maybe. I must admit my memory for names is not the best, so it could very well be. Tell me a few lines about it and I can probably tell you more about it, because, well, that's gonna work better. Was there a server like that? Maybe. It doesn't ring any bells, but that, as I said, you know, doesn't mean much. I did join a few servers in my time, for different purposes and different experiences. Although some of them no, but there were also, and then they did sprung up some more weird ones along the way. And just when I thought I'll never see this again, they kinda reworked it later on. I mean, fair enough, I guess I can kinda see where they're coming from. On the other hand, you know, well, of course, I mean, if you don't like at least somewhat D&D, then you probably get out there. Yeah, actually, you probably wouldn't join a stream with such a thematic at all at that point. Ah, Dungeons and Dragons. All the way down to the good old-fashioned pen and paper grinds, which will probably, yes, indeed, more pipe. One of them, actually. Just about to fill it again. This is why we're sitting here. See, quite often when you see me in games just sitting and nothing happens, that's usually because I'm dealing with the pipe. Oh, because I got started rambling. Yeah. I mean, I guess the only even greater variety of roleplay imaginable would be to actually play a very old-fashioned, you know, a round of Dungeons and Dragons in the pen and paper variant, because that, of course, allows for the, technically speaking, for the most amount of it. But that, of course, also requires at least a dedicated group or so, and is actually willing to do this often enough. Actually, are people streaming that? I wonder. I mean, technically speaking, if you have a good dungeon master who can actually do some good narration, would probably watch that. Oh, it's a bit of a negative way to look at it, but sometimes things just don't work out. But now, maybe you just haven't met or found the right group. It happens sometimes, you know. Sometimes you want to do something and you just don't find the right people, or the people that are doing what you want to do are just not that compatible with you. That happens, I mean, you know. For as many fucking fish there are in the fucking sea that you can potentially meet, greet, and breed, mind you, yeah, it's just no guarantee. No, just continue fucking cowering, bitch. Yeah. If anything, I think doing something like this in English, especially if you plan to either stream it or make a video out of it, would be better. I mean, I had in my whole lifetime until now precisely one opportunity to engage with that in the pen and paper variant, and
I would speak with you a moment.
well, I mean, that's kind of how I ended up with this particular character type, the female paladin, because that was forced on me, and I was like, yeah, okay, huge. Happy and finish. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna, at least to my German ears, it's gonna sound much too amusing. Because it's always like, oh, you're getting so close to speaking an actual word. And then they're like, ah, shit, you messed it up, bitch. Bloody Scandinavian people, I tell ya. They almost speak proper language. And then they mess it up every single time. Which is kind of amusing, to be fair. Listen, Donna. I'm my friend, my buddy, my pack mule. I'm still in my underwear. It is fucking cold outside. This is the second time you stopped me. Are you sure you want to continue this line? Because at some point I'm gonna hit you with my fist. Oh well. Chappell's, what's wrong? Yes, you can indeed see. Look at how fucking pointy those tits are. You think that's just graphics? No, that's the fucking cold. Yeah. And at this point, I think the best attack she has in her arsenal is probably just gonna be a body slam. You know, just straight out slam those titties into someone's face. And sound design is actually pretty well. And now I need to actually stop the sound design for a moment, because Royal strategy is like, he wants to be praised. Fair enough. Yeah, go ahead. I do enjoy this particular little screen though. It pleases me greatly. Okay, enough of that. The problem is, you know, since I do actually like seeing it, where's my water? I don't have any water. I'll get new water. I knew I was forgetting something. What's the most obvious thing? Hey, even I sometimes need motivation, you know? So I can just switch over to that screen and go like, ah, that's cute. And I can look back and go like, yes, indeed, you deserve some praise. Ooh. As we all know, I will never stop combining all the things I like into one. It's here. Thank you for the insight. Be quiet now. Look, he's weeping at me, huh? That's a pleasant experience that I don't have that often. You're surprised how rarely people actually engage with that. Let's see here. Yeah, we missed it. That's it. Now it's time to get some fucking money. Actually, no, we don't need money. We have so much money because of her now. That's the backstory of my poor little paladins. You know, she might have abandoned all her equipment and, you know, all of her friends and families and whatever else she created back in Neverwinter. She was smart enough to take her money with her. She's, you know, has her head on straight. I mean, you know, it might not be something you should do in polite company. Also known as, you know, anything outside of approved company, but, well, indeed. Unless they have either more points or they have more money in their pockets to spend, you're indeed the only one who shall enjoy it. They should have fought harder. Weaklings. That's not cold to say, it's the truth. Also, you know, speaking of cold, Back to the point. I am cold. Pick up a few coins. Yeah, I like the way you're thinking that. Yep. Yeah, it's basically just some friendly banter around. Rarely do we have any reason to get all serious.